You've got your assignment and you're thinking, I don't really understand how to break down this complex assignment. It's asked me to write 5,000 words, but there's a section that says describe this. There's different elements of the learning outcomes that you have to incorporate into your assignment. So how do you break down complex assignment prompts? The first thing is to understand why it's essential to even fully understand the assignment question. If you don't understand the assignment question, you're not really going to understand the whole purpose of you writing the assignment. You're not going to understand what is wanted from you on the outset. So you have to first identify the key terms that are incorporated in the assignment question. So look out for things like analyze, discuss, critique, explain, list. They're all descriptors that are advising you and explaining to you what they want this assignment to do. So if you are asked to write a 5,000 word assignment discussing the benefits and challenges of peer mentoring programs with first year undergraduate students or something like that, it's asking you to discuss what are some of the benefits, what are some of the challenges, and then synthesize that information to give an all-round summary of how beneficial or not so peer mentoring programs are. So look out for the key terms that are in the assignment question. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to break tasks down into smaller components. So for example, if you have one assignment question, but it is linked to 3 different learning objectives, then you're going to have to find a way to incorporate those 3 learning objectives into that written assignment. One way you can break that down is by taking one learning objective and mind mapping how it comes into the overall question. For example, in your written assignment about peer mentoring in nursing, one of the learning objective is to be able to identify different forms of communication, written, verbal, non-verbal, digital, that kind of jazz. You may link different types of peer mentoring programs that may be done via online platforms. So you're going to then break down tasks into smaller components. Now that could simply be writing different elements of your assignment at different times. So you would first of all look at the body paragraphs. Do a mind map of the different bits of information that are going to be required for the body paragraphs of your assignment. So you've been asked to look at the benefits and the challenges, break down what some of the benefits are, break down what some of the challenges are, and then discuss how you're going to synthesize that information. But in order to be able to do that, you're going to have to search for literature. So one of the first tasks that you might break down is your literature search. You may give yourself a certain amount of hours to go away and find the literature first, because we don't find and write at the same time. We're going to find the literature first using our uni's library, using our different databases, and we're going to collate some literature that we want to use. And then when you're doing your mind map, you're going to link some of that literature to some of the elements of the mind map. So for example, if you find 3 bits of literature that talk about the benefits of improved communication amongst peers on peer mentoring program, that might be an element that you're going to discuss in your benefits section. If you also find that peer mentoring programs support students' ability to network more efficiently, that will then be something else you would discuss with those 3 bits of literature in another part of your assignment. Then when it comes to challenges, you may find that peer mentoring programs are very reliant on the peer being able to have good communication. That might have been discovered in a few of the pieces of literature that you have found. So you pull those together, and then that's how you'd branch out your mind map, and off different mind maps you might write different bits of information. So your benefits will link to Jones et al. 2024 and 3 other authors, and the same thing with the challenges side. And that's where you're going to collate that information. But this task would have been broken down from literature search, and then you would be adding that into your mind mapping, and then you start thinking about how you're going to write the actual paragraphs. Then another thing you're going to do is you're going to align your approach with the marking criteria. Now, every assignment is going to come with its own marking criteria, marking rubric, where there will be a grid of different elements that you will have to meet to get a certain grade. Now, I always say aim high, so go for the 80 to 90%, look for the wording in the 80 to 90%, and see how that is going to be implemented in your assignment. So some universities break the rubric down according to learning outcomes. Some universities break the rubric down depending on the actual content, so the engagement with literature, the use of a broader amount of references, spelling mistakes and things like that. So they may break it down in those elements. But if it's broken down according to the learning outcomes, it sometimes is a bit easier to understand where your marks are going to be coming from. And if you're going to be aiming for the 80 to 100% mark, you're going to be seeing words like critically appraised. You would be giving original and insightful bits of information. So where you have presented the argument or you've presented the literature, you will be giving your own insights on it. So you're not just going to be summarizing or synthesizing the information. You're going to then go a bit further and give your own insights on your own take on what you feel that this literature means. And one of my best assignments got 90%, and the feedback was literally, this was a pleasure to read. And they are really enjoyable to read when you see a student really take on a different side of the literature. Yes, they've discussed the literature and they've synthesized it and brought together all the information, but when they've discussed what that means in relation to their assignment or their practice or their organizations, that does make it a little bit more interesting to read. So if you are, and I always say you should aim for 100 to 80%, because then you at least get 60 to 70% at a minimum, because that's what you're working towards. When you are breaking down your assignments, each element of your assignment, you're going to try and decide and understand how it meets that element of the marking criteria. Another way that you can be supported when it comes to breaking down and understanding the assignment is using AI. Now, I will always give an AI element. I don't think AI should be used to write the assignment, but I do think it should be there to support you. And one thing you can use is you can use AI to help you clarify some of the terms that are being used in the questions that you've been asked to explore, or generate ideas on how you might address these terms. So for example, you could put your assignment question into ChatGPT and simply ask it to explain, what is this question looking for? And it will give you some ideas on how you can present the information back in your assignment. You can then take it a step further and then ask ChatGPT or Claude AI to generate an outline for you on how you may approach the topic. But I'll give you one better, and I talk about this app all the time. Jenny.ai is an amazing app that will help support you. You can write in the app and it will help you with citations, it will help you with structuring, and you can ask it to help you formulate the outline of your assignment, and it will also help you to link some research to those elements of the assignment. But you can use those platforms to help you generate ideas, not content, and you can also use them to help you draft an outline of some of the headings that you may use, with some bullet points that can be used to develop more complex assignments if you're finding it challenging to understand the prompts. I hope this helped. Let me know in the comments if there's any other methods you use to understand the assignment prompts that you've been given. And let me know if there's anything you would like me to discuss a little bit more in detail. As usual, I'll see you in the next video.